It's either Crash Bandicoot 2 or Crash Bandicoot 3, where he says that he wants pancakes. Yeah, that's his only fucking spoken line in the series, that he says he wants pancakes. Now, I don't know if he speaks in like the later games, like the Xbox 360 ones and PlayStation 2 ones, but really, I'm not even going to count those, because those are just fucking bad games and aren't anything like Crash Bandicoot in the least sense. So, yeah. So here we are with the native fortress. I had to restart there because my XSplit wasn't doing nice. And anyways, oh, there we go. Okay. So anyways, I wanted to get on another topic here because I know I thought about this while I was trying to get XSplit to restart or whatever, you know. A lot of people were like, well, you know, why don't you like My Little Pony? It's like the best fucking series ever made, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so a lot of people said, will you please watch an episode or two of it, you know, and I bet you will fall in love with it and you will just fucking love it. Well, I'm sorry to tell you guys, I watched 3 episodes of My Little Pony because I thought, you know what, I'm not going to watch 1, and then people will say, well, you just watched a shitty episode or something like that, and I'm not going to watch 2, or I'm not going to watch 3 or something else like that. I mean, I'm not going to watch just 2, I'm going to watch 3 so that I can safely say I have seen some of the series and I can give my opinion on it after having seen it. So I watched 3 episodes of it, and I have to say, beforehand, my opinion on the series was that it was neutral. It's fine if people enjoy it and stuff like that, and I'm just not really too into it and all that other stuff. Now, after having watched it, I still don't say anything bad about people who like the show. That's perfectly fine, that's your own choice and everything else. But I will say, my opinion on the show itself is lowered because holy shit, I do not think it would be possible to make a more idealistic show. I really don't. I really don't think that would be possible because everybody was telling me the show was very well written and very mature and for adult audiences and stuff like that, and they really had like good storylines and it wasn't just super idealistic stuff. I'm sorry guys, but you must have been trolling me, or I don't know what to tell you, because no, it's probably the most idealistic thing I've ever seen in my life. Like the good guys in every single episode I saw came out completely on top with no negative repercussions whatsoever. No matter what they did, no matter what stupid thing they did, no matter what stupid thing they did to their friends, everybody was forgiven, everybody was happy. The bad guys were painted as completely like total evil, no gray in morals or behaviors or anything else. It's total black and white values. And for those of you who don't know what that means, black and white values, it just means that there's no gray area. That people in the show are 100% evil or 100% good, pure-hearted souls that can do no wrong. And if they do, it's because they clearly just were misunderstood or didn't mean to or something else, and they'll never do it again so long as they live. And they have no negative repercussions for this. Like, I watched this episode. I don't have the exact names of the characters. I think it was Rarity, the purple one, or something like that, was, she was doing something, I forget what it was, and these other ponies, I guess, like, were all haughty-toddy. They're all like, oh, how are you doing? Ho, 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 ho. Oh, yeah, and they have secret passages like this, too. Interestingly, you can actually still get harmed by the fire, for whatever reason. But, yeah, she was doing something, I think, for this other pony's birthday party or something like that. She was making design, and then she bumped into, like, these super, like, asshole ponies or whatever that were, like, Mr. High Class and Mrs. High Class. And I guess she wants to be, like, high class or something like that. And so they're all like, oh, you know, we think, you know, you are a very important pony, and we want you to come to our special gala of horse racing or some shit or whatever. And so she impresses everybody, and they all fucking love her, and she's all like, oh man, this is so great, I'm like in the high class. And as it goes with the stereotype, you know, she abandons her real friends, her close friends, the ones that she's always had, that aren't like all high class, and she has to like balance time between the two. And of course, fuck! And of course, nobody notices this. She somehow manages to pass this off and everything else. And so she completely abandons drawing the birthday dress for this one pony. Now, I was expecting something to happen like, oh, you've really disappointed me, you know. Why aren't you spending time with me and your friends and stuff like that? You've really kind of grown distant and changed. No, none of that happened. Instead, the pony that had the dress and everything, she likes it. She likes the fact that it's so simple and with no planning to it and with no actual effort into it. So, of course, that works out perfect for this pony. Works out fucking perfect for that Rarity or whatever. Which is, like, as idealistic as fuck. pretty much. So either that shows she had no idea what her friend was really like, or it shows that her friend basically is, again, well, it shows either that she's not anything like what she thought she was, or I guess, again, everything works out perfect and that show is completely idealistic. So that happens. Then they get to some big gala or whatever, you know, another thing, and it's her birthday party and this other gala thing, and she's running back and forth between them. The party for the high class people is on the outside. It's on the outside of the building, and the birthday party is on the inside of the building with gigantic windows. And yet, I fall in the water. And yet, nobody notices this. How do I have 47 lives? And yet, nobody notices this at all on either side. Nobody notices her running in, seeing her in the windows, taking her, like, high-class clothing or hat or whatever the fuck off or whatever so she can look normal, and then going back out and dressing up high class. Nobody notices this at all, somehow. I don't know how the hell that's possible. And then, when she's back inside, then she accidentally runs in with like a croquet mallet in her mouth or some shit or whatever else, because ponies can play croquet. And so she runs in with that, and then all of her real friends or whatever, they're like, why do you have a croquet mallet in there? She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to explain, blah, blah, you know, I've been going here with all the high class people. And then, because her friends are apparently dense as can possibly be and have no idea what the high class pony's like, have no idea what this rarity chick's like or whatever, because they don't know that she wants to be part of like the high class and have no idea that, you know, she's totally fooling them. They're like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're being a shrewd business partner. You're trying to like get them to buy your dresses and outfits that you're wearing in here. They're all high class. And so, of course, instead of actually fessing out and being like, oh, no, really, the thing is I abandoned you guys and I'm a bad friend. I'm sorry. I won't do it again, whatever else, which you would expect. Fucking monkey. Which you'd expect. She instead goes along with this and bullshits her friends even more, and so they go outside, and her friends decide to completely roughhouse and make themselves look out to be like complete immature idiots, and all the other high-class ponies or whatever the fuck are like, I'm so sick of saying the word ponies, they're all like, oh, who are these ruffians? Oh, what is wrong with them? They're just such assholes. And so she finally confesses when they're basically making fun of them and laughing at all this stuff that they are in fact her friends. Now, at this point, I was like, okay, finally something bad's going to have to happen to her. She's going to get kicked out of the high-class etiquette thing, and all of her friends are going to be like, oh, I'm disappointed in you, but we'll still make it up because it's still, you know, a show and all that stuff, and that's to be expected. But no, it took it even further. The high-class pony that invited her to all this in the first place and was Mr. like, I hate ruffians and I hate lower class and all this stuff, he sticks up for the lower class ones and sticks up for the fact that this rarity chick made the dress that all of them were wearing, which all the other high-class ponies thought was terrible because she's associating with them, and he sticks up for them when his personality was different just 20 minutes ago, and this all of a sudden gets all the other high-class ponies to run over and buy her dresses. That is like the most idealistic, perfect version of events that could happen in any possible scenario with what had went on in that episode. You could not get more of a everybody wins, everybody's perfect, everybody's happy ending than that. And so after that episode, not to mention the other two, I was just like, I'm done. I was just like, I can't watch this show anymore. This is like so idealistic that show is probably going to fuck more with kids' heads that watch it and grow up and stuff like that than watching the news every day and hearing about violent murders and kidnappings and everything else and playing violent video games. If I had a kid, I would actually be more comfortable with them playing violent video games and watching the news than watching that show. I am dead serious with this. Because if your kid watches that show and they grow up with that show, they're going to have such an idealistic view of the world that when they get older and reality hits them in the face, and when you fuck up, you actually pay for it and you actually have repercussions come for it, that they're going to be completely shell-shocked and not be able to even function in the real world at all. They're just going to be done. They will not be able to function because they will be so idealistically affected by that show. Now, granted, I'm sure that there are many kids that could watch that show and not end up like that. I'm dead sure of that. It was just as I'm sure there's many people who play violent video games and are actually affected dramatically by them. But the point still stands that that show is so idealistic that it just, no. I'm sorry, guys. That's just my opinion on it. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit about it, you know, because I'm kind of just, you know how I get when I get on rants and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, I can't approve of that show in any way, shape, or form. I just can't. So those of you that are fans of that show, I'm sorry. I still think you're cool people and stuff like that. The fact you like it doesn't make me like you any less or think that you're any less of a person. But I personally do not like that show whatsoever now. I was neutral on it before. Now I just no. And if my kids watch it or something like that, I'm not going to, like, you know, beat them or tell them off or something like that, for God's sake. I'm just going to, like, be like, you know, like, how the hell can you watch that, you know? It's like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get pissed off at them or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. I always feel the need to explain myself because misunderstandings are like the #1 thing that happens when you give speeches or go on rants or something else like that, because people will take one word you say and misconstrue it heavily, and I need to stop fucking dying like this because I'm not even focusing on the game, but they'll misconstrue it heavily. And so no, I would not want my kid just playing violent video games at like the age of 5 or something like that and playing fucking, you know, like Bulletstorm or something like that, where it's like ultra gory. And I probably wouldn't let him watch the news because the news just sucks dick nowadays anyways. 95% of it's fucking garbage and misinformed and like completely incorrect. So, you know, what the hell. Anyways, that's my whole rant on that. So, yeah. Now, I like to add one little extra thing to that. For God's sakes, people, if you like the show and you don't like what I'm saying about it, you gotta be able to respect other people's opinions about what they like and they don't like. Because if you can't do that, then I don't know what to say. Because I respect other people's opinions and likes. Okay? It's like, just because you like something or dislike something, I'm not going to automatically dislike you or like you as a person. That doesn't work that way. People have different interests and different tastes. Some of the people that some of my best friends like stuff that I think is absolute fucking garbage. I think is like the worst television show or movies or music or video games or whatever else in the world. But it doesn't make me like them any less as people. And it's the same with me. Some of my friends like shit their fucking pants at some of the music I listen to and some of the movies I like and everything else like that. But you know, it's just your taste in things. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or whatever else. But on the flip side of things, don't berate somebody to like something just because you like it. And this is what got me with all the people who complained that I didn't watch My Little Pony and stuff like that, or that I didn't like it, or I was neutral about it before, is like, guys, just because I don't like it, or just because I don't want to watch it, there's not something wrong with me. There's not something, you know, that if a person doesn't like the show, that there's something wrong with them or whatever else. It's like that's just bad. You know? It's like, I know a lot of you people who watch My Little Pony have a lot of misunderstandings constantly made about you and stuff like that in the media. And I'm sure you hate that people assume things about you. That just because you like something, you must be a certain way. So please don't do it to other people, that just because somebody dislikes something you like, don't assume they have to be a certain way. It goes both ways.